right, so listen, I couldn't record on the boat because, well, the Wi-Fi was insanely expensive. Dude, no, because I wasn't even in my room. I was barely in my room, bro. I was like, I'd rather just be in the present, spend time with my family, like enjoy myself. Like, well, all my family in Puerto Rico, we had some mofongo. My sister, on the last day of the trip, she bought the Wi-Fi, just the day pass. When I talked to her at the end of the night, she was like, dude, that wasp almost freaking cooked me. Oh, you're yawning, big girl? Oh, oh, hey, girly pop up. Come here. Come. Oh, oh, oh. Why are you so cutesy? But it went in my mouth. It went in my mouth. Go down, go down. I'll talk to you later. And then she's like, man, I realized that I am so much happier without the internet. The past like week without my phone, I've been like, yo, I want to learn Spanish. Like, I want to like learn magic tricks. Like, I want to learn like sleight of hand, and I'm like inspired to start making music again because she's really good at making music. The funny thing is, you know what inspired her to do magic tricks? What inspired her to do magic tricks is so Julianne. So I'm sitting over here with Vi. We're like on the deck. I'm sitting over here, and Julianne and my dad are sitting on the other side. And I was like, Julianne, pick a card. I'm like, actually, I was like, pick two cards. So she picks two cards. And I was like, show the audience. So I turn around. And then I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down what I think your cards are on my notes app. But reality, what was happening is my dad texted me what her cards were, right? And then I was like, here, let me shuffle it. And she's like, no, I want to shuffle. I said, okay, you shuffle the deck. She shuffles the deck. I get it back. And I'm like, okay. I look through the deck. I find her two cards. I put it on top. I say, pick the top two cards of the deck. Are these your cards? And she starts freaking the fuck out. She's like, what? She's like, that's really good. That's good. That's good, bro. I'm like, what? She literally had no clue. She literally had no clue how to do the magic trick. No, and my dad was like, yeah, he's just really good at magic. Back to the main point, which is that Vi is talking about boredom. Since she hasn't been on her phone, she's like actually hasn't inspired. She's been inspired and motivated to like learn all these new things, right? And then right when she got her phone back and got the internet back, all that went out the window, bro. I was clocking in maybe like an hour. I literally had no internet, so I had nothing. All I could do was look at the menu, like use the Carnival app. That's all I can do. Like I didn't pay for the internet, so I was clocking in maybe like an hour a day. Bro, she was clocking in 5.5 hours a day on her phone with no internet. Anyways, besides the point, like, how is that even possible? Or the point of the story, the point of the story is she was like, I think you have to be bored to want things, but like your phone and the world prohibits you from being bored, so you can't really like know what you actually want because you have this solution to boredom. Like we've cured boredom, but is that a good thing? Because boredom is really what breeds inspiration. Bro, that's the most reddest cardinal I've ever seen. Hey, Grandma. Within boredom is the answer to all questions, and that is why the enemy has given us the ability to never be bored again. We've been given the power of omnipotence. I don't know if that's the right word. Is it omniscience? What is all-knowing? Whatever the word means, all-knowing. I just said omnipotence. I don't know if that's the right one. Has given us the power of omnipotence at our fingertips. We've taken a bite out of the apple once again. What will man do to avoid himself? Anything and everything. In Milgram's experiment, participants were willing to shock themselves to avoid boredom. I don't know if you guys know Milgram's experiment. Especially they just put people like in a room. If you guys know Milgram's experiment, especially they just put people like in a room. In the room was an electric buzzer that would shock them. And so, like most people could only last like a couple minutes before they like were so bored enough to just like press the shocker. Pain is a more appetizing option than sitting with oneself. Man is repulsed by himself only because the enemy told him so. We all walk around detached from our bodies, living in perceived heaven. Dopamine everywhere you look, pleasure anywhere you scroll. This is not heaven though. This is the devil's playground. The world rotting in sin, pleasure, and fear. The devil has a collar wrapped around the world, dragging us wherever he wishes, while having us believe it is out of our own volition. Few will come to this realization, and some will realize this too late. When we are all asleep, living in the digital world, separated from our souls, the devil will watch us with the biggest grin on his face. Can we avoid this future, or is it too late? Well, God is here in all of us, and many people are waking up, and it is our duty to awake the others. Do not run away from boredom. Do not be repulsed by silence. Within silence you will find God, and you must get past yourself first. You may sit for minutes or even hours before you get past the noise. What will happen first is that your mind will race and convince you to get up or do anything or move or literally anything and everything. Your mind will convince you that you're being unproductive. Your mind will convince you that you need to go go on your phone, run from this boredom. That loud voice that you hear is the manifestation of all the internalized noise of overconsumption. All of the voices of TikTok, all the tweets, all of this, all of the noise jammed in your head. Let it wear itself out until it is mostly silent. Next, another voice will say, well, it's been 45 minutes. I think we can get up now. This is the internalized shame due to a culture of overproductivity in capitalism. This is the voice that says, well, let's get up and go. It's already been a couple of minutes. We got to go do stuff. We have stuff to do. Oh, it's been an hour. It's already been 15 minutes. The voice that feels like it needs to go do something. You have to get past that too. And during this time, keep telling yourself to stay, and you will eventually realize that as you repeatedly say, no, we can wait 5 more minutes. We can sit 5 more minutes. At some point, you will forget, and you will realize you were in silence. You don't need to keep telling yourself 5 more minutes because there's no more voices. You're just sitting there. The trees are rustling, the birds are chirping, and you can hear nature breathing. And at this point, you have reached the door of God, right? And the way you reach this is you've purged all of the noise in your head. You've purged it out, just as if like you were throwing up some bad food, right? Some old rotten food. And so when you finally arrive at this true silence, God will be waiting for you. And in that silence, you will be given the answer to your questions, and you will be given a mission, right? And there's a clarity, right? And so what I'm saying is, just like what Vi was saying, how in boredom she she wasn't sitting in silence, but in this boredom, she found this inspiration that was so pressed down long ago. She hasn't been inspired to make music in years, right? And she was finally inspired. And she was like, wait, I need to learn Spanish. Wait, there's things that I do want to do that I truly want to do. But you can only, get to that call if you reduce the noise out of your life. And so last night I was just thinking about this, and I was like, man, there's always stuff I want to do. And for the longest time, I thought that execution was the hard part. Thinking is easy. You could come up with ideas, but then I realized it's not me coming up with ideas. And especially when you're sitting late at night and you're all amped up and you have all this energy and you're like, I'm gonna do all this shit tomorrow, and then you wake up all for you to not to do it. It's like, especially if you're like on TikTok or you're on these apps doom scrolling at night and you're seeing, oh, this is how we get rich. Oh, just do this thing, make a faceless YouTube video. Oh, start doing affiliate marketing. Oh, start doing this, do that. Oh, here's this kid that's 16-year-old that's drop shipping freaking socks from Mars, right? Like it's like, oh, with a click of a button, this 16-year-old's making more money than your parents ever made. Like all of this shit, right? It is you have to realize that it is to the point. Algorithms are doing their job. Their point is to make you stay. And whether they're making you stay because it's making you feel good or they're making you stay out of shame, it doesn't matter. And most of the time it's out of shame. It's, holy shit, I need to, like, you get so amped up, you're like, holy shit, I got so much to do tomorrow. Like, I need to do this. I need to start living my life. I need to start doing it. But the reason it doesn't stick when you wake up in the morning, because it's rooted in shame, right? When you're in the shower, you get your best ideas. And then when you go to execute them, you begin to overthink them and you make it overcomplicated. And before you even start, you sabotage yourself, right? Because you don't trust what the spirit is telling you. You're choosing to stay small and to stay in the flesh because that's all you've ever known. And the overthinking, the over procrastination, the lack of execution is just a form of self-sabotage. It is just your flesh convincing you that things have to be so complicated. The thing I realized in this boredom, especially this boredom when I this silence that I sat in last week, and when I sat in the woods, was my job on this earth is to expand, not to shrink. And anything that's telling me to shrink is not me; it's the flesh, right? It is the insecurity, right? The spirit wants to expand. It wants to be seen. It wants to love. It wants to be abundant. It wants to do this. The flesh and the ego want to protect itself and be small and reduce itself and minimize itself. And so anytime I have this grand idea of expanding, I always get convinced that I shouldn't. When I go and attempt to expand, the ego says, no, that's too much. It creates this big mess of overcomplication. So then I shrink down again, right? And so every time I have the answer, I forget and I fall back down. I get clouded. And so I'm I'm so close to the point. I'm so close to the cusp. I'm so close to being the man I want to be. And I'm so close to being where I want to be in surrendering to the spirit. So close, yet so far. Like, there's this hurdle, the perfectionism, the fucking, just this little overcomplicated guy. And so, like, even my friend Jamil, he's like, I keep getting to this point. I've been doing videos for 5 years, and I always quit when I have to make a thumbnail. And it's like, you're overcomplicating it, right? The ego is convincing you. You're already seeing success on your YouTube. You're already seeing all this success. Yet your ego is convincing you that you need to create this perfect thumbnail. And then when you don't do it, it says, "Well, fuck it. Like, let's just not expand at all. Let's not show ourselves. Let's not." That's the ego. The thumbnail should be like the most bullshit part of the whole thing, right? But it's what the ego, it's what the flesh convinces you to minimize you, to make you scared and fearful. So let's expand, bruh. Let's expand. And so, yeah, guys, girls, gays, queers, they, them, Caesar, and all, everyone, anyone, have a great rest of your Monday. I had a blessed day today. Wonderful vacation. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow on a beautiful Tuesday. And we'll see what happens, bro. I'm sweating. I'm sweating.